We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Bottalico, Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkann, Ruben Amaro Jr. In a moment from Atlanta, baseball requires perspective. No sooner, seemingly, had the Phillies dropped 3 straight and 5 of 6 that they now have won 2 straight and 7 of 12. I mean, 7 of 12, I understand it's not the be-all and the end-all, but a winning record over the last 12 games.
World Series, Bob.
Yes, indeed. Maybe something to build on. Tonight's game, they got the runs early. They made the plays in the field as well, and Zack Wheeler was awesome.
I think when you look at the class of the 2 pitchers that started this ball game, I think you had a pretty good idea how this game was going to turn out. Because when you look at what the Braves threw out there, I mean, you know what? You're going up against Zack Wheeler, number 1, right? And the Phillies had no problem with that. I thought Wheeler came out and pitched his game. I thought he commanded the strike zone. I think his slider was very good at times when he needed it to be. And I think what JT said is very important. He loves to throw that high strike, and he throws it extremely well in good counts. So, I mean, you know, when you put this all together, it was a mixture that the Phillies were going to look pretty good in this game.
Ben, when you look at Zack Wheeler, his first 3 starts, an ERA in the first 3 of 8.53, now his last 5, 1.38. He's 3-3 finally on the season to 500. How special has his performance been over the last 5 starts?
He's been dynamic, and a guy that really is the stopper on this ball club. He can make a pitch go east and west, and that is something that not a lot of pitchers are able to do. Yes, he can throw that fastball at the top, the good 4-seamer, but you get some of these righties, they were swinging a lot of sinkers in off the plate because they were looking for that slider away. And you get them falling in a trap like that, you're doomed, especially as a right-handed hitter. So you start to chase that ball outside, otherwise that ball chases you inside. You got no chance but to break your bat, leave your thumbs in the batter's box. That's what made him so good. He was just, I would have loved to have caught him because you just don't get that many guys that can go laterally to both sides.
Let's go down south a ways and check in with Ruben Amaro Jr., called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. Ruben, you watched it all. Zack Wheeler, great on the mound. The Phillies got the runs. I know the Braves helped them a little bit, Ruben, but still, a win's a win, right?
Absolutely. And listen, when you're not playing the best baseball and you have a guy like that, Zack Wheeler on the mound, it's really nice to play generally a pretty clean game and to get a little break, you know, here or there. You know, it's nice to catch a break, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ruben, when you look at this lineup tonight, it kind of everybody is contributing. Those are the kind of games that we've seen for the Phillies that could get them going in the right direction. How did you see it tonight?
Yeah, I think it was so important. And when you get guys like Rhys Hoskins contributing, that's a huge double down to right center. Nice at bat with the bases juiced. Didn't try to do too much, got himself into the at bat. You got JT Realmuto getting a couple of base hits. That's when you start lengthening out your lineup, when guys when you get all the guys contributing in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, how many positive things can you say about Jean Segura? I mean, he's just been outstanding. Every single at bat, he's putting together, you know, solid at bats this entire month, and he's got to be one of those candidates for Player of the Month because he's just base hit after base hit and 2-out base hits. It's a nice thing to see. That's the kind of thing that we expect from this lineup, and hopefully it continues.
So what I mean by that is you have one pitch that's sliding away, one pitch that's sliding in to a right-handed hitter. You almost have to guess one or the other, like Ben was saying. If you guess wrong, you're going to look stupid up there.
What you have to do, and you look at those numbers on him tonight, 105 pitches, 70 strikes, just a 2 earned runs. But what you have to do is a guy of his ilk, of his caliber in Zack Wheeler, you can't give him both sides of the plate until you get to 2 strikes. You can't, because what I said before, if you're looking for that ball away, and he throws you that slider, then you can have a pass at it. But if you're looking for that ball away and he throws you the sinker on the inside part of the plate, your thumbs are going to be left in that batter's box. You are going to get your bat exploded. And that's what he was able to do tonight, time in and time again. It's just, and everything's out of that same slot. And everything's free and easy. And that is like the perfect storm for a pitcher. He's a big dude. He's, 6'5", 6'6". The ball just gets on you as a hitter. He's probably only releasing it from maybe 53, 54 feet because of that length that he has with his extension. He's just really good, and it's free, and all of a sudden you're, bam, the ball's in. Whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? You're not even exerting a whole lot of effort out there. How's that ball coming out of your hand that hot? And that's what he's able to do.
Cy Young runner-up last season. Looks like he's going that direction again. One of the top
Definitely
3 pitchers in the game. Top 5 pitchers in the game.
I would say right now he very well could be at the very top. I mean, just the way he's throwing the baseball, the way he looks, I think we all have a snapshot of what he was last year, and he's very close, if not maybe even a little better right now than he was last year.
How about the pitching staff as a whole as we come off Zach Eflin's 12 strikeouts? He gave up just 2 runs yesterday in the finale. The way Ranger Suarez has started to pitch. Kyle Gibson pitching tomorrow. This starting pitching staff as a whole.
They've been awesome. They've been flat out awesome, and they're really giving their offense that has struggled. I'm not saying anything surprising there, but they're kind of making that offense feel like they don't have to score 1,000 runs because that starting pitching is keeping them in the ball games. You're going to see some guys, I believe, get stretched out maybe a little bit even more, maybe 110, maybe 115 pitches. That might be the case if the bullpen has its struggles like we've seen them have in the last couple of weeks. The starting pitching has been outstanding. And all 5 of these guys, I know Ranger had a clunker in his last start against the Dodgers, but they are the Dodgers. He just didn't have a whole lot. But for the most part, these guys are giving them competitive outings every 5th day. And that is something I think we're a little bit hesitant to watch as we went through spring training and to see how the season progressed. But right now, the starting pitching, I think, is their best attribute right now.
Yeah.
I think there's one guy you really have to keep an eye on, that's Aaron Nola. And the reason why I say that, it seems like he gets to 6 innings and then a big brick wall stands in front of him. I think that's one thing you really have to focus on as the season goes on. Because you look at that game, Joe wanted to take him out last game after the 6th, and then he went back out and gave up that home run in his next half inning. He's one of those guys whose pitches seem to flatten out. And once he starts losing his movement, I think that's when you have to have the hook on him. I don't think you wait until the other team dictates. I think you wait, you see, and when the ball stops diving, stops moving, that's when you have to think about pulling a guy like Aaron Nola.
Let's get the assessment of tonight's game from manager Joe Girardi in the clubhouse.
So, I mean, there's a lot to this game, but I think you start with Wheeler,
Another very good performance on Wheeler's part, and you know, it was an interesting first inning, right? I mean, Cassidy smokes a ball, but it happens to be right at the first baseman. If it's 2 feet to his right or left, we probably got 2 runs. And then they get a couple hits, and Roman Quinn makes a great throw. I mean, there probably should have been some runs maybe scored on both sides in the first inning. I thought he, didn't really lock in until about the 3rd inning, and then he seemed to really get it going, and he was different.
The last 2 starts, he's got like 39 swing and misses. Remember when the season started, everybody was scratching their head, where are the swing and misses? It's like he's really
I mean, he was behind. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He was behind, but some of it was by design, some of it was due to the flu, and there wasn't a whole lot we could do. I think he's done a heck of a job.
And he just kind of ran out of gas in the 7th?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to push him any further.
You did clearly not have Alvarado and Sorrento?
Sure. No, neither one.
How about Hand? Where was he?
I had him. I'm kind of looking down the road. I mean, I know Olson's a big at bat, but Albies is much better against left-handers, and then you start to get in a bunch of right-handers. So Brogdon's been good against left-handers. So he had 2, to get an out, and he ends up getting the right-hander out.
That throw from Quinn was,
yeah.
I mean, it was almost clocked 100.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of tools, right? And he had a heck of a night, a big double, and he ran down some ball. He played a really good game.
Are you a believer that when Reese hits a ball to that gap, he's really
good things happen?
Yeah, he's settling in.
Yeah, I do. I mean, Reese had a bunch of good at-bats tonight. We had a bunch of good at-bats tonight. Segi had another 2-out RBI that I thought was important. JT swung the bat well. Schwarbs was on 3 times, the first 3 times by walking. I mean, there were a lot of good things that happened.
I was going to say just a lot of those guys that need it. Like Hopkins was so frustrated yesterday. JT's been changing his stance every few days. Quinn's been scuffling at the plate.
I mean,
Schwarber.
Sometimes it reminds me of some of my old teammates where they talk about how they'd sit up in bed at night and scream and then lay down and go back to bed, right? I mean, hitting is a nightmare. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's a battle and it's a fight, and sometimes you're going good, sometimes you're not, and you don't understand why, and you feel the same. And it's just, you got to just keep grinding, and that's all, and working, and that's all you can do.
When you talk about sort of the full capability of this offense, the second and third inning, kind of what you have in mind, long at bats and not necessarily home runs, but just driving the ball in the gaps. And
yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking at. Just everyone contributing, everyone passing the baton, not trying to do too much, and I thought they did an excellent job. I mean, Baum hit bullets all over the place tonight. There were some tricky line drives hit to the shortstops tonight. We got to investigate that.
Last one.
Were they knuckling?
Did something.
How hard was Baum's off the bat?
That I don't know.